Greetings! It's an all-you-can-geek Gamecast. I almost said movie cast again. We have the bestest of the best. Your two hosts joining me, Corey Feinsod, Mike Snitty this time first.
What's up?
I gotta mix it up. Tony Korkanakis.
Yeah.
You mixed up numbers and
You're mixing
logic and
yourself
everything.
up,
Oh,
man.
I know. I was trying to do something fun and exciting, and I just screwed it all up. So
That's all
I
right.
got trying to change things up a
You
little
got to
bit,
razzle
but.
dazzle. I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Jim's not here. He kind of keeps us grounded sometimes. So we'll see. He should be back at some point, hopefully soon. But he is, doing his own thing at the moment. We'll catch up with him, find out some more. But this week we have a game cast for you. And as I was saying with the movie cast, we had a bunch of news come out. Like last week, nothing, and then it just all slammed at us. And like the next day, we had so much stuff going on. But before we get to any of the movie news, I'm curious as to what you guys have been up
Games.
to this week. Mike, what have you been playing?
So last week I mentioned I was playing Ghost of Yotei. I have finished it.
Ah, nice.
Yes. The ending, I have an issue with the ending.
Mm.
I can't really explain what it is without giving stuff away, but uh, I have an issue. And I want to compare it to something we all know about, but that would instantly give
Ah,
something away,
yeah,
so I
don't do
won't.
that.
But overall, I really liked it. It might be my third favorite game of the year, despite some of its
Hmm.
shortcomings. Also because another game that I started, Outer Worlds 2, it's been slightly disappointing to me, at least in the
Oh,
early going. This game, and it's interesting because a lot of people have been pretty definitive about how they like it better than the first one. And so far, well, it's clicked a little bit with me, but it took a while. There's if
What's
you
a
remember the
while?
first game, a while, like 15 hours.
that is a
Jesus.
while. Yeah.
Because I just felt like I sucked at everything before then. I finally got like a couple good things, and my build started to like progress to the point where I could do something and be effective. But early on, there's just nothing around. It has the flaw system that's fun, where you take a negative trait based on stuff that you've done, and then the positives that comes along with a negative trait is supposed to be stronger, usually.
Hmm.
Um, so you can do that a bit, and that you can sort of like cheese your build. But I was also a little intimidated by the talk around this game, where it's more restrictive as far as the RPG, the build stuff, where you can't really be a very effective jack of all trades in this. You really have to sort of go in on a few points. And the game tells you this as well, because one of the flaws that comes up, if you spread your skill points out a bit early on, it'll give you the easily distracted flaw, which will give you
ADHD?
a couple of,
They're giving you ADHD?
yeah, I guess. Well, they give you
Jesus.
bad knees too, which makes an audible crack
They made
happen
you
when you
old?
crouch.
They made you 30?
Well, 30, yeah. Um, and then but that one, what that does is it gives you a couple extra points, or maybe just one extra point every time you level up to put wherever. But you have to start with your lowest leveled skills first, the non-zero. So if you put like 1 point into a bunch of different things, you got to level those up first before you're able to level up your higher level skills. So that is potentially a crippling flaw, but also if you do it early enough and have like a bunch of twos or threes, you can kind of cheese a little bit to be a jack of all trades. But see, for me, I always fall into that. I kind of don't like multiple playthroughs that much in these games, and I want to see most of what I can. So I did not accept that flaw when it came up, but I did get annoyed because there was a lot of things I couldn't do. It seemed like early on, um, but eventually I got there. The story is a little more confusing to me than the first. It's a mystery, but the factions are just they're all bad, and you know they're all bad from the beginning. So it's hard to feel like, oh, these are the good guys. Everyone kind of sucks, and you know it, which sort of disengages me a little. And otherwise, it's just it just feels unfavorable compared to Kingdom Come, which I've been playing on and off all year, because there's just a lack of tangibility. And I thought this would be stuff that they would improve from the first game, but they didn't. Like stuff like you can't loot, with the armor or clothes you see on NPCs off of them. Like they'll still look the same, and that armor may or may not be in their body when you take out someone. Same thing with their weapons. Yes, there's like a chance, but it's not necessarily there. Nothing is there physically. You can't pickpocket your money back from vendors. You can't, you know, everything they have isn't actually like in their shop. All this stuff is in Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is why part of the reason why that game is so immersive. Everything is like feels like it's real and it's there. Here it feels like almost nothing is real, you know. So and that bothers me more than the fact that no one has routines, no one walks around, everyone's static. But some people also really hate that about, an RPG like this. But otherwise, it still has the humor. It's a little darker than the last one. It's a bigger, obviously. These hub worlds are all kind of pretty big compared to the first game, and it does have some unique weapons that I'm finally getting, and that was kind of what turned me. There's some unique weapons. The other thing, though, that's a big issue is I'm used to having like you could use like some of the chems or stat like clothing to sort of
Yeah, cheese your
circumvent
way.
your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
mentioned this
can't.
last
There's
week
none
as
of
well.
that in this.
Yeah, there's none of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So only combat wise, which some of it is pretty good combat wise. Like you can get like a lot of extra critical or sneak attack damage if you min max with that, but you can't like learn how to hack on the fly or learn how to lockpick with the right clothes. So it's a shame, but we'll see how it ends. I think I'm about halfway through it.
So would you say the jump from 1 to 2 in this is not as great as from Tsushima to Yotai would be?
No, I feel like this is more different, I think, than the first game. Like Tsushima to Yotai feels pretty similar, just more refined with like more variety in the combat and a couple side quest like things. This one they've changed the structure a bit more where it's pretty restrictive. It's like harder, a lot harder. I was playing on hard and had to drop it to normal during an early section. And and yeah, it seems like a lot of the choices were made so that you can't do everything. You have to make choices and
Yeah,
kind of
you
get
can't
stuck
see
sometimes.
everything. You can't make everybody happy. That's the whole point.
No, I know that, but it's not. I don't care about making everyone happy or choosing like one side or the other. But I do want to like do
Feel like you've
most of the
accomplished
things you can
all the
do
things.
in the game.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
but
But
I
that's
do.
encouraging replayability, right?
I don't want to play the same game over and over. Like I'll play it and then I'll come back to it like 5 years later, like I did the last one. Like I don't want to do that. And then when I do come back, I'm gonna find myself leaning towards the same skills that I naturally lean towards anyway. So I still won't see that shit. But
Potato,
All right.
tomato.
Yeah. How about you, Tony?
whatever.
What have you, or is there anything else, Mike?
No, it's just those
Or-
two.
Yeah, they're big games, so that's what I assume. But Tony,
Um, just typical live as service game. Games of service.
okay.
Fortnite, Rivals, which we'll talk about shortly. But then the new hotness that you know, Corey, because we played it.
Yeah.
Arc Raiders, which
Yeah,
is
Nice.
taking over the world.
Yep, super fun, which we'll also talk about shortly. But
Yeah.
it was. I blame it on Dukov, man. I do, because like Dukov
Oh, no.
gave me that itch, and I'm like 95% done with that. I just have to finish this one thing. But like I've pretty much maxed out my guy in that, so it's not like as rewarding or like thrill seeking anymore.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it's like that one meme where it's like, or should I, right? And it's like, like I don't want a PVE v PV, player versus enemy versus player, extraction shooter, or do I, right? And then I was like, fuck it, we ball. It's only $40, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
And that has just an awesome gameplay loop. Just picking a map, going into mission, trying to find some cool shit, get the hell out without dying. And just like that first night we did Corey.
That push your luck, right?
Yeah,
It's that push your luck
it's
element,
push your luck, exactly. Because like, well, I should extract while it's still early and there's not that many funnel points for players to go to. But what's in that next building over, right? Like, what is over there? Like, I see a chest. I'm pretty sure it's gonna have something good. But it just creates a lot of memorable moments. Like, I mean, Corey, that first night we were playing, where we were calling that elevator, and just as we were about to extract, I ran in first and was starting the escape sequence, like the final thing that you need to leave, and you got sniped by a player on the way in. I was like, just crawl over, like, and like you literally got in just as I had hit the thing, and just as somebody else had snuck in and was gonna shoot me. Like, I don't know if you saw, I clipped it and I sent it to you.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
And that was a great moment. And then the one night I was playing with just fill-in randos, and one of the big enemies, I forget the name, it's like a big black mechanical spider-looking thing, and it has like missile turrets and whatnot. We saw this other team fighting it, and they like finish it off. We're like, oh well, they're definitely weakened by this thing, right? There's no way that they didn't get hit. They like didn't get damaged by it.
Take damage, yeah.
So I'm just following my squad. They're like, let's go ambush those guys. I was like, all right, fuck it, we ball, right? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, say no? So we crawled over, and like we could have looted it, but nope. Like, we're just gonna camp to the side. We're waiting. Like, people definitely are gonna come loot it. And like not even a minute later, we see the people pop up, and it's like we do the countdown. It's like 3, 2, 1, and we just start blasting them, and total team wipe them. They're cursing at us, and it's just like, sorry, man, it's the name of the game, kill or be killed, right? So they had wasted all their ammo, all their health, whatever, to kill this thing, their time, and we killed them, and we got not only the monsters loot, but their loot, and it was just. I think we all extracted like 50K worth of like items on us and stuff. Wow. That was insane. So it's just really fun.
Yeah, the moment gameplay is good, but like the cinematic elements to that, where it's like you have these moments that you can remember and clip, and you want to clip and send to people because they're so fun. Like there's that one time too where we both got down and we're crawling into the elevator, just crawling, and like, just get there. So that was fun. Have you done the solo, like just going in solo, or do you always feel?
I actually did some solo tonight just because I needed to get some fucking prickly pears, I think, for my next upgrade or whatever.
Yeah.
And I kept zoning with people that like, hey, I'm like, hey guys, I just need to stop up over here, and they're like, nah, it's on the other end of the map. So I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna go in solo. And people on solo are so nice. I don't know if it's just like the fear of being alone. They don't get that confidence, like, oh, somebody else could pick me up, right? It's, hey, like, what do you need? Like, I'm looking for this. It's like, all right, well, I'm looking for the prickly pear. They're like, okay, well, I'll let you know if I see any. If you see any apricots, just let me know. And at one point, I saw like 5 people in the same area with me, and I'm like, oh wow, nobody's like betraying each other. Nobody's throwing a grenade or anything like that. Meanwhile, if you like run into the wrong person in squads, this is like, it's like, oh, one person, 3 of us, we're just gonna kill you. Like, no negotiation, no like, hey, I'm friendly. It's just shoot first, ask questions later. So. Solo might be the way to go if you're like looking for a specific thing.
It definitely could be. It's much nicer, but it also can be like
meaner
real
too.
like backstabby, right? Because because then you like find someone like, oh hey, like you're looking, like you're saying, you're like, oh, I'm looking for this, you're looking for that, whatever. Like, yeah, let's we want to like team up and just like go together. But then you got to watch your back the whole time because you don't know. It's like, oh, cool. Because as soon as like you just like let your guard down, bam, you're shot. And you're like, what the heck, man? Come on. And he's like, oh. So yeah, it's and there are people complaining about the PvP, but like that, it's like the friendly fire and Helldivers. You can't not have it in the game. Like at some point, like you can't. It's just gonna get too boring if you're just doing PvE the whole time.
I was reading. Apparently, the game was supposed to be just player versus enemy, and one of the last legs of development, they're like, actually, let's include player versus player in this, right? Because that would add way more sustainability and replayability, right?
Right,
no,
the definitely. Human element,
the most dangerous game.
Exactly. Yeah, and I've been playing that as well. Definitely been enjoying my time in there. And it's like I said, the gameplay itself is good, and I do like that the the weapons and stuff, the stuff you're constantly having to craft and things, it doesn't feel like it's super powerful. It's like more like you constantly have to get more loot to
You're
get
being
those more
scrappy, yeah.
powerful items and stuff. Yeah. And so you do need to be a little bit smarter about what you're doing and what you're taking, like what your loadout is, what you're bringing up with
The
you as
choices
well.
matter very much. Like I'm quickly learning.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh shit! Like I never even
Right.
thought
What is
about
your
this.
goal
Yeah.
when you
What's
go up
yep.
there? Like, is my goal to just get in and get out, or is my goal to try to like
Class. Yeah.
PvP some people, or try to get some of these like arc element like pieces that you need? So it's like you definitely need the correct loadout for that, because like if you want to kill some of these arc enemies and you only have light ammo, that's going to be a bad time.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely excited for that. See where they go in the future. But
For the news,
yeah,
I guess
let's
we
get
could
into
start with that, right? I
yeah.
think 7 million copies sold, right?
Four
Four?
million copies
Oh,
in
700. Yeah,
sales.
yeah, 4 million
Yeah.
copies. But then I think they had what 700,000
They
concurrent
have
users.
700,000 concurrent players across all
That's
platforms.
insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. This is the
And it's
Helldivers
got
of
crossplay.
2025. Yeah.
It definitely is. Yeah. And it was, well, it was something that I was excited for much more than Helldivers. Helldivers kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be cool. But the first one, it was nothing like the
Yeah.
first
No.
one,
No.
so I
Yeah.
didn't expect anything, right? But this one, I was like, I've heard of this game. It's got the loot element. I'm excited to see where it goes, but it definitely is much bigger than I expected it to be, and I'm happy to see that for them. It's
Good for
good.
them.
It's
Yeah.
funny though. Helldivers is the reason why I'm a little hesitant to get this because I bought Helldivers and played it like 4 times and
Hmm.
was kind of over it.
I
So,
think because it doesn't
which
have
is
PvP is probably
yeah,
why.
I mean
Like,
that's a lot of it, but I knew that going in, but still like I don't
this
know,
is a different
it
game
didn't
though.
grab
Like
me.
the thing
Yeah,
is,
I know.
I would say this is, much more like accessible to a solo player than a Helldivers would be. I think Helldivers shines with the team element of it, the playing together, where this game you can do it yourself if you want, and you can play on your own, and because you're really trying to go up and collect crafting materials and like level up your base in a way, where Helldivers doesn't really have that as
Yeah. There's
much.
no real big progression. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
you get new loadouts or whatever, but like,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good. Whereas like this, you're like kind of building up a base. And I guess the thing is too is there's like a prestige system where like you get to a certain level, you build up a certain amount of money and materials, and you send your person off, and you start over completely again, but with more like accelerated level ups, unlocks,
Right.
etc.
And there's a skill tree in this
And a skill
too,
tree. So that's
Yeah.
which, yeah. But yeah, it's good. So, yeah, like we said, 4 million copies is great. 700,000 players all at once is pretty cool. So, um, yeah, let's get into some other stuff here. We had Mike, you had put something on this news here about Halo. What can you give us some insight on
A
what that
while
was
ago.
about? Yeah.
I don't remember actually. What's the title?
The Halo Infinite's next major update will be its
the
last.
last
Oh,
one.
So,
that's right. Yes, that was because that was right like a little bit after last week's podcast.
mhm.
Yeah. So Halo Infinite, Halo Finite, it's over. Um,
Yeah.
the last update for Halo Infinite, and then they're gonna move into just kind of maintenance for a while. Um, and yeah, and a lot of people the joke is, oh, it was still having updates, but I'm the thing is like if this game wasn't positioned as a live service thing that would constantly update, and it delivered 4 years of the content that it did, it might have a different vibe, but
Yeah.
it's not the case. Everyone thought it would, and also the glacial pace of even if it wasn't live service, it was a little lacking after like month 2 or something.
This is the
Anyway,
only big live service game that I don't think I ever heard any positive buzz of like, oh, like they're redoing Blood Gulch or something. I'm just using an example where it's like,
I
oh, that's a big
it's
thing.
funny though that was something because originally they're like we're not going to redo old maps, and then I think they went back on that
Of course they
eventually.
did.
They because they had to. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's just botched live service stuff, and it had its
Yeah.
moment. It's a shame. Like when that game came out, 4 years ago, I guess it was it was fun. Halo was back for like
Well, we were
a
excited
month or
for
two.
what was the future was gonna give us because they were talking about all the stuff that was
10
coming.
years of
Yeah,
Halo.
that too.
10 years.
That too, but like what was out too was fun. It was great.
Yeah, no,
But
and I remember saying
Yeah.
like because I played it that first month and I was like, yeah, the gameplay is really
Mhm.
solid, the maps are good, but it's just can they keep up the pace and content
they
release? And
couldn't.
they didn't. They couldn't.
No.
You
Yeah.
know, here,
No,
here,
and
here we
the
have
same
Marvel
thing like you're
Rivals
saying.
releasing a character a month, and they can't release what a map a
Yeah.
month. Like, come on, what do you need to
Yeah.
do about map balancing versus a whole ass fucking character in a hero shooter? Come on.
There's nothing. There's never an announcement for Halo Infinite that got me excited to be like, oh, I should go back and check this out. Where like with
Yeah.
Fortnite, there's always something
Yeah.
that's coming to like,
Yeah.
hey, this is exciting. Or like we're saying with we're gonna talk about Rivals here. There's always something exciting, and this is really exciting. Like they're doing, and we mentioned that teased it a little bit here. Did we mention it? I don't know
Yeah,
if we
we
did,
we
but Gambit and Rogue are
Yeah.
the next two characters. With Gambit coming first,
This
looks
Friday.
like in
In a few
next.
days.
This
Yeah, I was
Friday.
gonna say 14th is
Yeah,
this yeah
Friday.
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 Yeah.
And he's actually
So
the strategist, not Rogue.
Yeah,
yeah,
very surprised. I don't know.
interesting.
I can't fan wank the logic behind that, but whatever.
His cards don't
Doesn't
blow you
matter,
up;
man.
they heal you.
Does not matter. Yeah.
Healing
It
powers now.
doesn't. I was curious.
I
So
don't know.
I watched the trailer. Obviously, I've been out of the loop a little bit with this game because I kind of gave up in this last season. But I was like, oh, another wedding themed thing,
Hmm.
which is a little interesting. We're gonna get a lot of tuxes again and stuff like that. But
Good for
yeah,
them,
yeah,
Good for
Like
them.
they could never get
yeah.
it.
That's yeah. I know.
Like,
What are they doing? Are they gonna wear like latex skin or something?
who
But
knows?
anyway, um, regardless, it's cool to see them, and I think they got at least for the '97 version of the voice actors, which is the same old school Rogue, and then someone else doing
Whoever did
Gambit,
Gambit
pretty
97. Yeah.
yeah, who did it pretty well. So that's cool. They look pretty iconic as well. And then the other thing in this trailer was Cyclops sighting.
It's so funny because Scott Summers is the only character that isn't in Rivals so far. And they easily could have drawn in like all these other characters as teased, like Colossus, Nightcrawler, whoever they wanted to. But like it was
Unless
just
that was supposed to be Daredevil. I hope not, but
no.
I don't see
People
why he
people
would do
speculate it's like no,
that.
that is clearly Cyclops. So I'm happy because kind of like Blade, like it looks like in the trailer he gets sucked into like another dimension or multiverse or whatever like that. And just based off of what happened with Blade, where it's like they had the whole season, like, oh, we got to rescue Blade, right, from whatever.
Yeah.
And he wound up being a character. Hoping that means that Cyclops isn't too far off either.
Yes, we're getting 3 X-Men in a row, perhaps. Maybe not right away. Maybe it won't be in a row, but feels like it. And then you think like, well, with the Fantastic Four had actually, you could do about 4 to get like increased synergy thing. I think they like increased the. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I don't remember, but I'm curious if we're gonna get to a point where you can get like an extra, team up bonus for like
X Unity.
maybe a whole team of
Unity,
X-Men
yeah.
might be possible.
Is
which would be pretty
there
cool.
an X-Men for each? Like,
Yeah. You got
Okay.
Magneto
There's-
and Emma for tanks. You have
Right.
Magic, Storm, and
Wolverine are all DPS.
for DPS, and I think Healer.
I don't know if we have any
don't
healers
think-
now until
what's
Yeah.
Jean Grey?
Gambit, I guess.
She's a DPS as well.
She's a DPS too. Yeah. So that
All right.
you
So
need
is Gambit the first strategist
Or
then?
strategist for the
Okay.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Yep.
For X-Men. Yeah.
you probably need a second one to make a
Yeah.
viable team
No.
of just X-Men.
Well,
but
is Luna Snow? Was she
No,
an
she's not a
X
mutant.
person? No.
No.
No. All right.
who
I
knows
wasn't
what
sure.
she is. I don't know.
But yeah,
Cool.
I think it's cool.
But yeah, it'll get me back in.
It does. And the other thing that they announced, because they had a whole like hour, or maybe not hour, half hour, whatever, presentation today, and what they're giving us in these like developer presentations is what like Overwatch used to do with the Jeff Kaplan when he was still there.
Mm.
And I'm just like, damn, like this is how you get people excited for your game. Because as soon as Jeff left and we had the whole Overwatch 2 debacle, which, mirrors Halo Infinite maybe in a lot of ways, like I just stopped caring, right? But like the Marvel Rivals team, they know their stuff, at least to get excited. I'm not talking about balancing, talking about competitive play. I personally don't care about that. But like just in terms of hype, they're like, yeah, like they were talking about feedback on the Marvel Zombies mode, and it was so well received. They're like, actually, it was going to end with the season release. We're extended for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks so people can play it and we can get more feedback and stuff and they actually said it. They said, we will continue the PvE stuff, so please look forward to the next thing, and we're going to try to top ourselves with what we've learned here. So if you've enjoyed this, stay tuned next year because we already know what we're doing for that. And that's so cool because again, Overwatch for years was teasing, this is the whole reason we're doing Overwatch 2, guys. It's like, all right, yay. And, never came to fruition.
Happened.
So there's that. They also announced this weird, hub thing where I think up to 100 people can, be in this area. And it's not for, gameplay, fighting. It's just you move a character around. You can, talk, chat. They said read together. And, in the one section, you could see a symbol for the Marvel, I don't know, Unlimited or whatever. So, I'm thinking there's going to be a way to, read the comics, maybe, potentially.
Okay.
Because, we're all talking about synergy, right? It's like, hey, you're playing Marvel Rivals. Why don't you check out the origin of magic or, whatever. And it's just...
Mm-hmm. Or, it's even hey, we have this storyline with Rogue and Gambit getting married. And, how's that going to work? Here's a comic book for it.
Here's the comic where it happened, right? So I just think it's really cool. Again, I'm not saying anything about the competitive state because I hear mixed things about that these days. But at least just from a casual, hey, this is fun. There's still life in the game because it's the 1-year anniversary coming up with the season release. So I'm really excited. I think year 2 hopefully is even better than year 1. But they're listening to feedback. I'm hoping Gambit finally lets people lock in to strategist for a change, even though I feel it's going to be all the people. Dude,
for a little bit, yeah.
Dude, I hate it because I was playing a little bit today because I need to finish some quests up, and I just I load in and I just see instant lock, Spider-Man, instant lock, magic, instant lock, Hella, and I'm just cool. So minimum or 3 DPS. You can't run less than 2 healers, so 1 tank, and that's gonna be me, or I'm gonna be a healer. Cool, awesome, guys. I really appreciate it. But
no. That's unfortunately that's the same every hero shooter like this.
It is. Forced into invisible woman manhood.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right.
But just real quick, keeping it in the Marvel gaming spectrum here, we did get some tech token news, which was not really that exciting. No new character or anything, but there's gonna be a closed beta for that coming up next month.
Beta,
yeah, so if you were in the first one, you'll get an automatic invite, but there will be a new wave of people, and that's gonna start the 5th, or that's gonna be from the 5th to the 7th of December. So it'll be interesting. But there was that PlayStation event that basically came and went.
There's nothing to talk about in there.
Yeah. So, any case, let's move it along here because not only are movies getting delayed, but also video games we know constantly get delayed.
We talk about the big one first?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it? Let's go for it.
I don't even know of any other one, but
well, I guess it's inevitable because we even joke about it, and I'm pretty sure Jim even was mentioning he sees it getting delayed again. But his favorite, Grand Theft Auto 6, delayed yet again.
Yep. Wow.
From May to what? They have a date, November. I think it was November.
Yeah.
So basically a year from now. Now, talk about Marvel games. The only game that we know of that could affect is Wolverine. And I'm worried it'll push it. Some people expect Wolverine to come out earlier. I'm not so sure they're going to do that. But because you can only go so much earlier than you plan, right? You can't just rush everything.
It's usually tops a month at the most.
So unless their vague fall window for Wolverine was supposed to be September or something, I'm a little worried Wolverine is going to end up in 2027.
It could.
It's a run away from GTA. But then again, who should run away from GTA when it keeps moving? So if it keeps moving at a certain point, everyone's going to give up on trying to avoid it.
Yeah, I think the best bet is just you gotta release when you're ready. And at least
Yeah.
a company like Sony, they can't afford to really delay it without it impacting financials.
So
'Cause
many.
that's
Yeah,
a
I was
game
gonna
that's
say
going to
there's
sell
so
bare
many
minimum
different moving
5 million,
parts.
5 million copies in the quarter. You can't
Yeah.
be like, sorry, investors, we're short 5 million first party sales and
Right.
100.
Plus, you
$200
gotta
million.
like gear up for your advertising blitz that
Yeah.
you're gonna do, like whatever campaign you're planning. Like, there's things that tie into it. Like, if you want to do, I don't know, like not the same, like 'cause movies do it more, but like let's say you want to have a fast food restaurant tie into your game and
Mhm.
stuff. It's like
Yeah.
you want to kind of time that all at the same time, and
Yep. And
there's
the more
production that has to happen. And
right, and the more partners you have, the harder it is to get them to align. Like, it's like I don't know, Taco Bell or Burger King or McDonald's. Like,
Mhm.
hey, like we're delaying this, so don't run the promotion. It's like, well, we already printed all the fucking boxes and wrappers and shit.
right,
So what? We got to just store this now for an additional 4 months, 6 months? Like,
That's what happened with Sonic 3 and Knuckles,
yeah,
because they wanted to delay their Sonic
yeah. The
3
toys are out.
and
Yeah,
Sonic and Knuckles. Yeah, they were one game, and then they had to cut it in half. Sonic 3 came first because McDonald's, I think it was, had their toys all ready to go for the tie-in.
yep.
So they're like, we need it. And then
Oh.
and then Sonic and Knuckles came, I guess like half a year later. I don't know. But yeah. So McDonald's went out at that time.
but this was not the only thing that came out of this Rockstar GTA delay. There were some other issues with some employees that were let go
Yeah,
and
that's a
them
big
leaking
controversy
stuff.
too. Well, so
Yeah,
Hmm.
Rockstar is alleging that a lot of employees were leaking stuff about Grand Theft Auto 6 on via Discord and stuff like that, which I'm not. Who knows? All right, it's a he said she said kind of thing.
Uh,
But the part is apparently they're union busting a little bit, and that's a big no no.
right.
And
Well, the
apparently,
idea was, I think a lot of that Discord was about, like, they had outside people who were union organizers in there.
yeah,
So that, but it wasn't that they laid off 40 people, but that wasn't the whole server either. The server was much bigger. So it's confusing.
yeah. But
This is
apparently
another
there's a
thing we're
lot of
gonna have to see.
yeah. But apparently there was a lot of lead devs that were included in that. And like I've always said, the past couple of years, especially when you look at like Rocksteady or BioWare or whoever, like you can't live without your lead devs. Like they are your guiding light, your shining beacon in the darkness for game development. And the way games are, like, it used to be like you could, create and ship a game within 3 years. You learn from that. Sequels way better, right? And then a couple of years after that, then you have the third game, and that's even better than the second one, right? Or typically, right? Whereas now it takes like 5 years minimum, closer to 7 or 8 or 10 if you're Grand Theft Auto, to make one of these fucking mega AAA games, and you're gonna lay off like a lead dev. Like, okay, so where are all your junior devs gonna get their experience from? Who are they gonna ask their questions to? So it's just insane. Uh, Whatever. Rockstar, I'm sure, will be fine in the long run. They'll sell,
Yep, this game is gonna do
20 million
bananas.
copies day one, but it's just shitty, right? It's just shitty. And again, with the game industry getting smaller in a lot of ways, especially because of Microsoft acquisitions and layoffs, like I would love whoever has the data for that to put it out, like how many people are in the game industry versus over the last decade, because and how many of those are like
Yeah.
broken up into like indie devs versus like established
Yeah, I mean,
long running studios.
there's a lot of a lot of new games for like small scale stuff.
Right,
Like,
right.
more games than ever if you like look at that
Yeah,
that way.
yeah,
But
absolutely. But yeah, I don't think
those
it's a
the
good
mid
look.
and high tier stuff, yeah, it's emptying.
Yep.
That's why, like, we talk about Sony. Ghost of Yotei was the only first party game all year, and that was a good one for compared to, we don't even know what Microsoft had in theory, and even Nintendo with its new thing has Donkey Kong Mario Kart. Although Metroid is coming, so
Well, I mean, speaking of Ghost of Yotei, it did um, sell 3.3 million copies, which is pretty
so,
good. Like I said.
if you have
But
a
like that,
PlayStation, you're like, oh, I better get this.
but like at the same time, and they're saying PlayStation 5 shipped 84 million units worldwide. So like 3.3 million copies of Gotai. It doesn't sound like a lot compared to how many PlayStation 5s there are out there. But I don't know if
It's
that includes digital.
definitely,
It
yeah,
does
it's
include
definitely a second tier of their big third, like AAA.
Mhm.
Like I don't know what Tsushima did. It of course that came out during the COVID year, but this is fine. It's not outstanding by any means,
It's
though.
not like doesn't like sound good compared to considering like Tomb Raider sells 5 million copies and it's like puts a company out of business. So it's like
Yeah, I mean, so the thing
I mean,
is,
it's still early too. Like,
right? So
this might have a more of a longer tail, especially with nothing else coming out for a while.
right. So like the thing is, I think the sales nerds on Reset Air install base did the comparison. If you're just looking strictly at numbers, yeah, it's slightly down in whatever time frame. If you're just comparing Yotei to Tsushima, but you know, then there's context and caveats, right? Because like Mike, you mentioned, it was COVID times, which all games were lifted up during that time, right?
Yep.
So there's that. The PlayStation 5 install base is only 85, whereas I think the PS4 was over 100 million at that point. So you're looking at 15 extra million potential buyers, right? Obviously, not every single one of them is going to buy it, but even if only one in 10 did, right? You know, that's still a good amount of copies, right? So it's a solid start, but the legs are what's going to be important with this title, right? Because it is an empty, open holiday season for Sony, like Mike you mentioned with PS5, and early next year. Personally, you know, I want to see it do well. Again, I love Tsushima, and I haven't played Yotei yet. I will, but I just do think it is one of those cases of like sequelitis where it's like, how much are you moving the needle, right? To make people be like, hey, I like Tsushima, like the casual audience, right? It's like, hey, yeah, I had fun with Tsushima, but like, am I dying to get back into a game like that, right? Because I feel outside of like Last of Us, I feel like a lot of the sequels, even like God of War and like Last of Us, or not Last, sorry, God of War and Horizon, I feel like it's been kind of like a little muted, right? They sold millions of copies, not bad by any means, but I think definitely down from the PS4 iteration highs. But who knows?
Oh, about Ragnarok. I'd have to check that.
But you know, that's where you talk about where it's like, okay, so now we have to talk about these games are $10 more expensive, right? Which is another factor, right? Is a $70 title versus a $60 Ghost of Tsushima, and how long did it take to develop versus Tsushima? Development typically is taking longer. So if this took 5 years, like how long did it take for Tsushima, right? And how much bigger was the budget, right? Because we had the Insomniac
I think
hack.
there was some news that came out for this one that the budget was actually about the same for this
That
one.
would be good, and
Or even
I could
maybe a
totally
little less.
understand that because all these studios do internal projections where it's like, hey, we want to see 10% growth, right? But like we found
also
with
like when you do a sequel, you already have the engine built, right? So
right,
you're
right.
not putting
You would
that
think
time and
so,
money
but
into
then
it.
Spider-Man 2 does something, throws money somewhere. I don't know what they did.
Well,
They
that's
like
exactly what I was going to
Yeah.
talk about. They're like,
money.
we
They
spent 200
burned money
million.
in some
Yeah.
like garbage cans or something. I don't know what they did
I-
to like just make that game that expensive. Just maybe again, I'm guessing it's that instant fast travel they were so happy with,
yeah.
and they tried to show off in all the previews. It's like, all right, that's cool, I
Yeah,
guess.
and it's really
But
crazy, and
this is your big thing.
it's a longer podcast. So we don't have to get too big into it, but there was
Yeah.
one curious announcement today from that Japanese Sony State of Play or Japan focused State of Play.
Mm-hmm.
Was at the very end, they revealed, hey, we're releasing a Sony monitor. And it's like a gaming monitor that can also act like as a hookup for your PS5, right? Because it's just an HDMI cable. Now, a couple months ago, they released wireless speakers. I think we talked about it. And I'm like, why would they do that, right? Why would Sony do that? And then I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast just a couple months ago, very recently, within 2 months, I'd say. They released an update for the PS5 DualSense controllers that it can have multiple connection profiles. So like you can have I can have my PS5 controller connected and memorized to my PS5, but also my PC, and I can easily like take it back between either, where you just hold like a direction on the D-pad and press the power button. So it's like if I hold up and press the power button, it's like, oh, we were trying to wake up your PS5. Where if it's like down in PlayStation button, it'll try to connect to my Bluetooth on my PC. And I really think now, with the failures of Microsoft and the exit of the Xbox brand, I really do feel like we are getting way and way closer to that Sony games being day and date released with PC games, like on Steam and stuff like that. But that's my tinfoil hat theory. We'll see.
Definitely could see it happening sooner. Like they're getting closer and closer for sure, because there's money there, and especially when you have crossplay. Like,
yeah,
why
Well,
not?
that happens already though with the multiplayer.
Well, yeah, like Helldivers. But that's what I'm saying is like, so if we take a look at the launches of, God of War to Ragnarok, Horizon to Forbidden West, Spider-Man 1 to 2, and now Tsushima to Yotei, right? By just releasing exclusively, it's what, maybe a little bit low to flat, and maybe better in the best case scenario with Last of Us. And I'd have to look into that, but technically that was a PS3 game, the first one. Whereas they've done the math, they know this, right? Where it's like, hey, there are just a lot of PC gamers that will flat out never buy a PS5, right? But if we come out with a game day and date, we can advertise. Obviously we're going to talk about PS5, but if you just throw it up on the storefront, you might be able to squeeze an extra 1 or 2 million units from the Steam user base globally, right? So I don't know. I just think we're heading towards that direction. We're just seeing small snippets and pieces of smoke.
I'm still not sure if the second launch is something that would make that any less overall or more.
Would you have a problem if they had console exclusive things? It's like, oh, because this is a PS5 title or Sony PlayStation title, like God of War, the next God of War, whatever, let's say, and it's coming out day and date on PC. But if you buy it on PlayStation, you get this extra skin or weapon skin or something like that. Would that be a problem, do you think?
No, I don't think
It
so.
would
Or
be
would that be an
almost
incentive to
irrelevant
buy it
because
on?
all that shit will be modded in anyway on PC, plus the nudes. So
Well,
whatever.
I'm just wondering, because what are ways that they could do to incentivize people to buy it on PlayStation and sell it on PC at the same time?
Maybe it'll be like an early access, like by a week thing. But they premium editions have been late.
Oh, the week, yeah. There you go.
The other interesting part about this whole investor, so what happened was the investor relation for the quarter end, like just what they talked about Nintendo 1 or 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And again, the nerds on Reset Era and Install Base they have charts, right? And they showed the graph of PS4 sales year over year to PS5 sales year over year. And PS5 is just narrowly under PS4, like within 5%, 10%, maybe something like that. So it's very close. But again, you have to look. Sales are flat, right? So like, if at best the PS5 matches the PS4, which would still be impressive if it wound up matching it. But as we explained, like, it gets harder and harder to justify the rising cost of AAA gaming development if you're selling flat, right? Like the hardware sales are flat and the software sales are flat. Like, that's not good enough, man. That's not good enough.
You got to constantly be growing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Inflation is a thing. Tariffs are now a huge factor. It's just uncertain times. And I mean, fuck it. Like, let's talk about Bungie.
Yeah.
The Bungie deal.
No, I mean, Bungie. Yeah. So basically, Destiny 2 is dead, right? It really underperformed for Sony. Like, I didn't see it being a big thing. It was on the way out. Like the people at Bungie knew, like, hey,
the thing is, they did the final shape, right? And that was, for a lot of people, the final bit, who were still in. That was it. Like, it is almost like Avengers Endgame, kind of. Like, it's hard to buy back in when you have your big ending, but you're like, oh, but actually, we're still going here.
But I mean, the thing, like, even before that, Sony bought them knowing this, like, all that stuff was coming, but like, it hasn't performed. It was it was going downhill when they bought them, and I think we speculated on this when Sony bought Bungie, is like, they want a live service game, right? We want a live service game. Bungie's making a live service game, and they can make more of these because we're gonna get investors from China to make more games in this live service, and nothing of that has kind of materialized at all, right? So now all we're doing is relying on Destiny 2, and it's only been going downhill and losing more and more of its player base. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it ca- all it's been pretty bad for Sony. It's not met their expectations.
Right.
Let's
And then
see.
there's Marathon.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, that's a big question mark. So really quick, I just
And
want to
yeah, and how is it going to compete with Arc Raiders? How?
yeah.
right. So I mean, so here's the thing. From the investor relations call, Lin Tao, Sony CFO, which is Chief Financial Officer and Corporate
Yep.
CEO, Corporate Executive Officer, has expanded on the company's profit hits in its game and network services segment caused by quote unquote intangible and other assets in connection with Destiny 2, specifically calling them out. And then speaking through an English translator, it said, regarding Destiny 2, partially due to the changes in the competitive environment, the level of sales and user engagement have not reached the expectations we had at the time of the acquisition of Bungie. While we will continue to make improvements, we downwardly revised the business projection for the time being and recorded an impairment loss against a portion of the assets at Bungie. So impairment is bad, right? So impairment means if you have a thing and you value it, we'll just say $1 million even, right? Bungie, and this is grossly under exaggerating, Bungie's worth $1 million when we bought them because that's what we bought them for. Probably even had to offer them a little bit higher for them to sell at the company, right? And now, fast forward, 5 years later, we're after the pandemic, we're after the highs of the final shape, things are going down, and now suddenly, Bungie's only worth $500,000. So now to Sony, not only did they overpay, Bungie is not even worth that $1 million that they spent on them. It's worth $500,000. So they're marking Bungie down, which is not a good sign. I'm not saying it's doom and gloom just yet, but like, it's hard to see Destiny coming back from this. It really is. I do not see it. Like, apparently the next thing is Star Wars crossover or something. My one friend was telling me. I don't know if
Did
that's
they
true.
do that already? I don't know. I've heard
There
rumblings
were
about
some skins and stuff I think they
Okay,
had.
maybe that was it.
that. Yeah.
But and the whole thing, controversy surrounding the marathon and that getting delayed, and honestly, I just don't see that being successful in the uber competitive shooting market right now. I mean, there is a chance it could take off, but
An extraction shooter too.
yeah, there's a chance it could take off like Helldivers, but between Arc Raiders now, between Tarkov actually coming out of or actually releasing on Steam and stuff, I just feel it's it does not look good to me. And honestly, I think if Marathon fails, which again I would bet on, I think we see the end of Bungie. I do.
I mean, it's over for what Bungie as we know it, for
Oh,
sure.
100% for sure.
Plus,
It's
it
been
was
dead for
touched
years.
Halo
Yeah.
falling apart.
I mean,
That's the
as
story.
if you guys have been listening to this podcast, I'm a huge Destiny fan. It's like biggest thing for me, the game I spent the most time in for the past, decade probably. And it has not been anything that there's nothing there that excites me to go back to it.
Yeah.
And the barrier to entry is terrible. And I was watching a video of a guy doing like, hey, let's see what it looks like for these blueberries. Like, what are they getting into? Like, how are they getting new players in? And it was so confusing. And then they were just like throwing loot at you that like you shouldn't be getting. And it's just like you didn't know, like it just didn't seem like a good experience if you're new to the game in general. Like there's just so much history to it as well. And like it's like, oh hey, I got this thing, and then it's like, oh now you got to buy all these expansions to actually do the thing that you like or unlock the thing. And it's like that doesn't feel good, right? You want to feel like you're playing a game that you're getting everything that you bought, and you're not having to pay more to actually use the things that are given to you in the game. So
So here's the thing. The final thing I'll say
Oh.
about this is if Bungie does go under, the biggest thing that Sony got out of this was Bungie saving Naughty Dog by saying, "Hey, don't do Last of Us anymore. Cancel that shit."
yeah,
That is absolutely the biggest thing. They by killing Bungie and they inadvertently saved Naughty Dog. I guess that's worth it for Sony. I don't know.
well, I mean, if whatever Intergalactic does and is gonna just be awesome and amazing, then maybe it was worth it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not though.
Imagine if that would have been a hit. What does Bungie know at this point?
Yeah. The crazy thing to me is like
Probably
you have
not. I can't picture the overlap between Last of Us fans and. I mean, obviously, people like the multiplayer from the first game a little bit.
Yeah, but I
multiplayer
mean,
was great
Not
in
a
that
lot
game.
of people.
the thing with that is Naughty Dog when they even canceled, they said outright, we have to cancel this because it would take the
Yeah.
entire company putting its weight behind this title, and the fact that we would no longer be able to do single player games, and we don't want to
Right.
do that.
Mhm.
They would become like we just talked about with
Steady.
343, right? Where it's just like you are just like
Yeah.
Halo.
the Halo Infinite and how they couldn't live up to those expectations, right?
Mhm.
Or look at Blizzard for probably close to a decade where they didn't release shit other than World of Warcraft games and expansions. It took them forever to release a Diablo 3. It took them forever to do StarCraft 2 because they just couldn't. The whole company had to support that MMO. So I think it was probably the right move for the health of Naughty Dog, but if they had to sacrifice Bungie to do it, then fuck it. I've hated Bungie leadership for a long time personally, so fuck them. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them.
Yep.
Moral of the story is everyone who's touched Halo is in trouble.
Kiss of death, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, moral story is you sell your company and you basically like watch it just go to shit.
Yep.
Is what happens. So, because yeah, by the time you sell it, it's probably on the way out. So,
Yep.
Yeah, let's we got a couple little things here. We had the Pokemon Company announced today that they will be. Well, I say today. This is a tweet here that was out there. There's going to be a Pokemon theme park in Tokyo coming next year, February
Happened
2026.
yet? I'm surprised hasn't happened yet. But
Yep.
okay.
Mario was the testing grounds.
And this is going to be huge too. So
number one
we also
IP in the world, so not surprised.
exactly. We also had Fallout 3 remaster is coming.
Not officially, but it's
Not
pretty-
officially. Yes, that's true. Not officially, but
it's a rumor.
there's a lot of smoke.
A lot of
there's
smoke.
a lot of smoke.
It's 100%
so usually
happening.
fire.
100% happening.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
It's not official.
And then there's a Keeley thing. I don't know what was Tony. You had put this on here.
Yeah, I put this here just because we're coming up on the Game
Game
Awards
Award.
real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently Jeff Keighley had this thing for the Game Awards called the Future Class, where it's supposed to represent people in the gaming community, whether it's developers, artists, etc., of minority groups, whether it's racial, sexuality, etc., and I'm hoping I'm using those terms correctly, but that's my understanding of it. So apparently they've been using that for the past couple of years. But this year, a group of the people that were in what I guess the Game Awards Discord were tired of having to try to get attention from Jeff and or upper management about things related to the Game Awards show. And apparently a bunch of them just were like, F it, we're not clearly getting attention. We're not getting recognized. We're not whatever. So we're just going to start being open about our experiences with it, which is, kind of a last move situation, right? But apparently they're saying that Jeff Keighley and the Game Awards basically use them as like, hey, like, diversity is cool because it's the public cool thing to be about right now. But in private, we're not going to treat them any better. We're not going to help them with anything. It's just kind of like a dog and pony show where it's like, cool, like, yay. So
look at us being cool and inclusionary and
right. So this tweet I wanted to talk about specifically was someone in the Future Class Foundation said from Diana Lore, game producer, into the first Future Class of the 2020 year. We were effectively props, she said over a video call. Once we got to the Game Awards, most people flew in from other countries, which was expensive. We showed up and felt like we were pushed to the side door. We found out later that Keighley had a party in another room with all the influencers and industry people. You know where the Future Class met that day? At Starbucks down the street. No one from the official leadership even showed up until the meetup was basically over. We were pretty bummed about just being cast aside. Then at the 2021 ceremony, Laura, community manager Natalie Chico, podcast host Khalif Adams, and other Future Class inductees' seats were behind one of the camera risers, completely obstructing their view. And then over the next 12 months, instead of getting a free ticket to the Game Awards, they were merely offered a 10% discount on tickets, which is like baffling, right?
Yeah.
Baffling at this
You're
point.
inviting these people to your event. You'd expect them, especially trying to highlight them, and use this for good publicity, you'd expect at least to get a free entry.
Yeah. So, not fully condemning, but like it sounds really shitty and really scummy and whatever.
Mhm.
Game Awards is its own thing, but like this just reeks of like the Jeff Nepo baby, like just wants to rub elbows with celebrities and suck Hideo Kojima's dick on stage. So
Well, you can watch it on Amazon Prime this year. It's
yeah,
gonna be streaming there.
Uncensored.
uncensored.
So, all right. And with that, unless you guys had anything else that came up, I was just kind of trying to peek out and see if there's anything else that was interesting. Did not see anything particularly. So this week again, we had a big news week. So
Thanks for staying
looking
with
forward
us.
to. Yeah, well, that's absolutely. And obviously with the Rockstar delay, we'll constantly be talking about that for the next 2 years, I'm sure. So
2 years.
Until it comes out,
Yep.
for sure. 2 years.
exactly.
No,
Exactly.
it's funny. I'm sorry. I forgot one funny quote when the GTA delay happened. The actor who does Dustin from Stranger Things goes,
Yeah.
"Come on, guys. We even managed to release the final season of Stranger Things before GTA 6 released. We had the entire series out before you guys could release GTA 6." So it's like, it's bad when one of the guys from Stranger Things is talking shit on your delays. So I thought that was funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially when that's known for taking forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years.
So, all right, guys. So that should do it for the Gamecast. Thank you so much for joining us and getting this far. Like we said, if you did, please give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube. We have these videos up after the live broadcast that we do on Tuesdays. And, leave a comment, join us, add to the conversation. We'd love to have you. But with that, we will see you next time.